The man who was hiding in my house didn't break in. My mother let him in. I grew up in a quiet neighborhood outside Raleigh, North Carolina. Nothing unusual ever happened there. My mom and I lived alone after my dad left when I was a kid. About a year ago, I started noticing small things. Doors that I knew I had closed would be slightly open. Lights in rooms I hadn't used would be turned on. At first, I blamed myself. I thought I was just forgetting things. Then I started hearing noises at night. Soft footsteps. Not loud enough to be obvious. Just enough to make you question if you really heard it. I asked my mom about it once. She laughed it off. Said it was the house settling or maybe the neighbors. But the sounds kept happening. Always late. Always when she thought I was asleep. One night, around 2 a.m., I heard something different. A whisper, not from outside, from inside the house. I got out of bed and walked into the hallway. Everything was dark, except for a thin line of light coming from my mom's bedroom door. It was slightly open. I stopped and listened. At first I thought she was on the phone. But then I heard another voice, a man's voice, low, calm, too calm. I froze. My mom was supposed to be alone. I stood there trying to understand what I was hearing. Then I heard something that made my stomach drop. My name. He said my name, not loudly, not calling out, just mentioning it, like I wasn't supposed to hear it. I stepped back slowly and went back to my room. Locked the door, didn't sleep. The next morning, I asked my mom if someone had been over. She said no. Didn't even hesitate. Just smiled and changed the subject. That's when I knew she was lying. I started paying attention after that. Really paying attention. I noticed she would sometimes lock her bedroom door from the inside, something that she had never done before. I noticed food disappearing faster than usual. Not a lot. Just enough for 2 people. Then one afternoon, she left the house in a hurry. Forgot to lock her bedroom door. I don't know why I did it, but I opened it. The room looked normal at first, until I saw the closet. The door was slightly open, just a crack. I walked over slowly and pulled it open. At first I didn't see him, then something shifted in the corner. A man standing inside the closet, perfectly still, watching me. We just stared at each other for a few seconds. Then he smiled, the same calm smile, like he wasn't surprised at all, like he had been expecting me. I ran out of the house, called the police. They came quickly, searched the house, and found him. He had been living there, not just visiting, living. There were blankets in the closet, food wrappers, a bottle of water, like he had been staying there for a long time. The officer asked my mom if she knew him. She didn't answer, just looked down, then nodded. That's when everything changed. She admitted it. She said she met him months ago, said he needed a place to stay, said he was harmless. The officer looked at her and said, "He's not harmless." Then he looked at me and said something I can't forget. He wasn't hiding from you. He was hiding for her. I don't live there anymore, but sometimes I still think about that night. About the whisper, about my name, and about the fact that he didn't look surprised when I opened the closet, because he already knew I was part of the house too. My parents didn't lose me, they sold me. I grew up in a quiet neighborhood outside Kansas City, Missouri. The kind of place where nothing ever seemed wrong from the outside. 2 parents, 1 child, normal house, normal life. At least that's what I believed. When I was younger, there were rules in our house that never made sense to me. I wasn't allowed to lock my bedroom door. I wasn't allowed to leave the house after dark. And once a week, usually on a weekday night, I had to stay in my room after 9 p.m. No questions, no exceptions. My parents would always tell me the same thing. We have guests, but I was never allowed to meet them. At first, I didn't think much about it. Kids don't question things when they grow up with them. But as I got older, I started noticing patterns. The nights always felt different. Too quiet, like the house was holding its breath, and sometimes I would hear footsteps in the hallway, slow, careful, stopping right outside my door. I would stay completely still, pretend to be asleep, because something about those footsteps didn't feel like they belonged in our house. One night, when I was around 16, I made a mistake. I opened the door, just a crack, just enough to see. There was a man standing in the hallway, not my father, not anyone I had ever seen before. He was looking at my door, waiting. I froze. He didn't move. Then slowly he leaned closer, like he was listening or checking if I was awake. I shut the door as quietly as I could and didn't sleep at all that night. The next morning, I asked my mom who had been in the house. She didn't answer. She just said, "You weren't supposed to open the door." That was it. No explanation. After that, the rules got stricter. My phone was taken at night. My door had to stay closed, and the guest nights became more frequent. Then one night, everything changed. I woke up not to footsteps, but to my door opening, fully, slowly. I stayed still, heart racing. Then I heard my father's voice, calm, controlled. "He's awake." Silence. Then another voice. "A man. Doesn't matter." I felt something grab my arm, hard. I fought, screamed, but no one came because there was no one else in the house. It was just them, my parents, and him. I don't remember everything after that, just pieces, a car, darkness, a smell, and my mother's voice saying, "Don't make this harder than it needs to be." I was found 3 days later, abandoned in a motel outside Tulsa, Oklahoma. The police told me I was lucky. They said things like this don't usually end with someone being found. I asked them what they meant. They didn't answer. They just asked me about my parents, but by then they were already gone. No records, no forwarding address, nothing. Like they had never existed. There's only one thing I can't stop thinking about. Not what they did, not what almost happened, but something my father said right before I was taken. He looked at me and said, "Be good for them." Not be safe. Not "I'm sorry," just be good. Like I wasn't his child. Like I was something he was handing over. And the worst part is, I think it wasn't the first time. I learned the hard way that sometimes calling the police is the worst thing you can do. This happened when I was working the night shift at a small gas station off Highway 93, just outside Kingman, Arizona. It was the kind of place that stayed quiet most nights. Truckers, long-distance drivers, people passing through. Nothing unusual. That night, around 1:45 a.m., a woman came in. She didn't walk normally. She moved like she was trying not to be noticed. Her hoodie was pulled low over her face, and she kept looking over her shoulder like someone was following her. She didn't grab anything. She came straight to the counter and leaned in close. Her voice was barely above a whisper. "Do not call the police." I thought she was joking or maybe paranoid. I asked if she needed help. She shook her head quickly. Then she said something that made my stomach tighten. "They're already here." I looked outside through the glass. The parking lot was empty. No cars, no movement, just the hum of the lights and the highway in the distance. I told her there was no one there. She grabbed my wrist hard. Her eyes finally met mine, and I could see it. She wasn't scared, she was certain. "They don't come in cars," she said. Then she let go and backed away. She walked out of the store and disappeared into the dark. I stood there for a few seconds trying to process what just happened, then I did what anyone would do. I called 911. I told them everything, the woman, what she said, how she was acting. The operator was calm, too calm. She asked for my location. I gave it, then she said something strange. Stay on the line. Officers are already nearby. That didn't make sense. I hadn't even given details yet. About 2 minutes later, I saw headlights pull into the lot. A police cruiser. Relief hit me immediately. 2 officers stepped out. Both of them were smiling. Not friendly smiling. The kind of smile you don't trust. They walked inside, didn't look around, didn't ask questions, just walked straight to me. One of them said, "You called about a woman." I nodded. He leaned closer and said quietly, "You shouldn't have done that." Something inside me dropped. I asked what he meant. The other officer walked behind the counter, too close, way too close. He looked at the phone still in my hand and reached for it. That's when I noticed something. The dispatcher on the line was still talking, but I hadn't heard her voice in a while. I slowly raised the phone back to my ear and I heard it. Not instructions, not questions, just breathing, slow, heavy, right in my ear. I pulled the phone away, looked at it, then looked back at the officers. They were both watching me now, smiling, waiting. One of them said, "Go ahead, tell her where you are." I didn't move. Because in that moment I finally understood what the woman meant. They were already there, and I had just invited them in.